Welcome back to my Top 10 series. Today we'll look at what I think are the top 10 rides in all of Disney World. There's so many great attractions, and to just narrow them down to 10 is a hard task. And I'm sure I left some of your favorites out, so let me know your list in the comments. But one more thing, we're on the road to 100 subs, and it would mean a lot to me if you were there with me on that ride. But I know what you're here for. Let's see what's number 10 on my list. Yeah, I'm kinda shocked that this made my list too. And honestly, if it wasn't for my last trip in 2019 when I took my dad for his birthday, it probably wouldn't have been added. During a busy afternoon in Magic Kingdom, every line was too long of a wait, so we had an hour to kill before our fast pass for Peter Pan. We decided to hop on the railroad, and I was surprised at how much we both enjoyed it. We only went on this a few times when I was a kid, so seeing these scenes unlocked memories I didn't know I had. If you have 20 minutes to spare next time you go to Magic Kingdom, I highly suggest giving this ride a try. And at the very least, you'll be off your feet and out of the stores, at least for a little while. From one view of Thunder Mountain to another. This was the first roller coaster I was ever on, and as I stated many times before, I was scared of everything when I was a kid, so being on this was a big deal for me. My mom convinced me to go on this when I was younger because she doesn't like roller coasters either, but enjoys this for whatever reason. I think it was a lack of drops and able to control your speed. Whether you want to sit up front to go slow or sit in the back and go fast, it's a good way to introduce newer fans to thrill rides. Unfortunately, the ride is still bumpy and flings you around at every chance it gets. And also say hi to Blair in the comments because he thinks every mountain is Space Mountain. So give him a thumbs up when you see his Ric Flair reference. Some might say this ride has no business being on any best list whatsoever. But to that I say you won't find a more diverse ride experience. First off, the Mexico Pavilion as a whole is just great to walk around in, window shop, take some shots, or even have a nice dinner on the water banks of this ride. And speaking of those water banks, the first scene kicks off by passing an Aztec temple to your left and people enjoying their meal to the right. It's one of the best scenes in any attraction. Then seeing the mini cartoons of the three caballeros getting in trouble all over Mexico is a great way to incorporate Donald Duck to link to this ride. The Small World scene gives this ride much diversity that you won't see in any other attraction. I probably won't change anyone's mind, but hopefully you can at least see where I'm coming with this explanation. As I've stated many times before, I'm not the biggest thrill ride fan. But from what I learned about myself going on these rides is that I hate being dropped straight down, but going upside down and backwards doesn't bother me at all. Unfortunately, my friend learned the hard way that going upside down and backwards will make them violently ill. Unlike most older roller coasters in the park, Expedition Everest is mostly a smooth ride as you glide through thick forest and mountain passes. My only regret is that I never saw the Yeti being able to move, and most likely none of us will ever again. So we'll just have to settle for Disco Yeti for the time being. Peter Pan's flight is one of the best attractions Fantasyland has to offer. The wait time may always be at least an hour, but it's well worth the wait on your next Disney trip if you have the time. The artistic choice of having a floating pirate ship fly over London and Neverland was a great choice and makes it even more amazing considering this was the opening day attraction in Disneyland, which opened in 1955. Many rides today struggle with making itself stand out, but the undertaking this had to take in the 50s is nothing short of astounding. Living with the Land is one of the last standing relics of classic Epcot. Considered boring by many standards, I've always loved this attraction. I'm a big fan of incorporating waterfalls and tiny rivers in rides, and the land has those in spades. It's also cool when you stop to think about the fruits and veggies grown here, along with the fish raised here, are used throughout the parks for consumption. There's a literal science lab in the middle of the greenhouse that works with the Department of Agriculture. The people you see working there are USDA scientists that work on crop improvement. It just shows that there's more to meet the eye in this attraction, and is a testament to the original spirit of Epcot that preached entertainment through education. I wish every land had an attraction similar to the PeopleMover in Tomorrowland. It's such a great idea to give people a tour of an area and give them a rundown of attractions to ride, places to shop, and restaurants to eat at. It's also a great way to get off your feet for 15 minutes and people watch high in the air without them knowing you're doing so. Also, going into Space Mountain is a great touch and something else I wish Disney would do more of: having a ride within a ride. Spaceship Earth is the flagship ride of Epcot. Having the huge geosphere right at the beginning of your park is certainly an eye catcher to say the least. But I'm surprised how many people walk past this not knowing that they're missing out on a classic. Taking you through the history of communication, Spaceship Earth is a slow moving dark ride that is filled with information and animatronics. It shows the evolution of written word on cave drawings to the invention of the printing press and even the start of the internet. Oh, while you listen to Dame Judi Dench do her iconic voiceover. It may not be the same ride from opening day Epcot, but there's enough here to make you nostalgic if you grew up in the parks, just like I did. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of those rides that people think about when they hear about the Disney parks. Having the distinction of being the last attraction that Walt himself worked on, it's no shocker that this and the number one entry are considered by many the last of the golden era of Disney Imagineering. Telling the story of a pirate's life in reverse, the first few scenes of seeing the pirate skeletons as a warning to would-be criminals that pirate's life does not pay. The ride is even home to a line in the script where I got the namesake for this channel. So if any of you didn't know where I got my name from, this is where it came from. The Haunted Mansion is a deeply personal ride for me. Normally I could get out of rides I didn't want to go on when I was a kid, but everyone in my family loved it so much that I had no choice but to go on it. So the terror I felt as a child turned into a morbid curiosity, which eventually turned into an obsession. When I finally got disposable income, I put it towards books and merchandise to further my fandom. If you ever get a chance to look at the history of the construction of this ride, you'll find that Walt died in the middle of the production and the lack of cohesion can be felt throughout the ride. Even when I was a kid, I felt the story wasn't all there. But knowing the circumstances that led to the power struggle for the direction of this ride, it makes a lot more sense now that I'm older. But that'll do it for this list. I know my list is probably vastly different from everyone else's, but I'm okay with that. We all have things that we look forward to, and it doesn't matter what our favorites are, as long as you enjoy yourself doing whatever it is you like to do in Disney. But we'll wrap it up here, so drop a like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if I earned it, and thank you for watching.